When was the last time you saw a group of honeybees? When was the last time you saw any bee in general? Can you think of the amount of bees you see now? Honeybee or any wild bee in general, compared to the amount of bees you saw prior to 2015? Is there a difference? Well, the Natural Resources Defense Council, or the NRDC, has informed us that 42% of bee colonies in the United States collapsed alone in 2015. So how does this affect you, the average everyday American citizen? One example of the importance of bees is shared by the Corn and Soybean Digest in August of 2021. They say that honeybees alone, that single species bee alone, contributes $16 billion annually to the U.S. economy. This is billions of dollars supporting our country's economy. The loss of this contribution would very much affect all Americans, you, me included. Bees are integral to our everyday lives, and it is these same bees' lives that are in danger. Today, I will persuade you to take part in the solution to help protect bees, to help protect our future well-being as a country. First, I will discuss the increasing and not stopping of deaths of bees due to ignorance, and I will end with how little everyday actions that you, me, anyone you know can do to help be a solution to stop the bee extinction. The problem is bees are dying in huge numbers and very quickly. At the rate that it's going, if it is not stopped, then it will affect us all. The Corn and Soybean Digest shares that 75% of plants rely on either animal or insect pollination. Bees are essential to the number of food, insect pollination, and bees are the bigger of the contributors. They're a big part of that 75% contribution. Bees are essential to the amount of food farmers can harvest per person. If the bee population drops, the amount of food that a farmer can harvest for a person, per person, drops as well. Another way that bees are in danger of extinction of is the use of pesticides by big businesses, corporations, farmers, and the average people like you and me who just don't have the right amount of knowledge. An example of a pesticide used that is very toxic to bees is a pesticide called a neonicotinoid. My apologies for that pronunciation. This pesticide alone has directly contributed to the decline of bees. London Times of June 2021 shares that neonicotinoids, that pesticide has been found to be linked to large-scale and long-term decline in wild bees. Modern farming and agriculture relies greatly on wild bees for crops, as wild bees contribute significantly to crop population. So if the wild bees are being negatively affected, our crop population is going to be negatively affected as well. Due to the huge negative impact on the bee population, as well as the bird, worm, and butterfly population, neonicotinoids have been banned by the EU as of 2013. Pesticides are widely used by farmers, botanists, and normal people with a plant, a garden. They affect bees directly and their offspring, affecting future bee generations to come. The Science Daily in November of 2021 shares that bees that consume pesticides had 30% fewer offspring compared to bees that grew up without pesticides. 30% less offspring, just the next generation over. Over 2 generations, the number of offspring would be 75% less. A huge drop in bee population. Besides pesticides, another big contributor to bee deaths is ignorance. Like the ignorance of using these pesticides just because we don't do our research on its effects on bees. We also, at times, get scared when we encounter bees and we kill them out of that fear. When as the Ohio State Impact says, bees are responsible for pollinating 1/3 of the world's supply. Why are we killing our supplier? The Ohio State Impact further says that we as citizens have a couple ways we can help protect the bees. As citizens, we can make more conscious decisions to support bees. Instead of insecticides, we can use herbicides, which is a safer and healthier alternative. When we encounter bees, we should not hurt them, but instead we should leave them alone. We can also support bees by creating outdoor areas that are bee friendly, provide bees with friendly habitats in outdoor spaces such as gardens or some flowers. Lastly, the Ohio State Impact advises that we as citizens eat bee-friendly products because unfortunately most foods are made with the use of pesticides that are toxic for bees. And if we show that we as the consumers care about bee-friendly food, then those who make our food will also care and put in that effort. All in all, bees are vital to the everyday lives of Americans, but ignorance is putting bee population at risk. I argue that through everyday conscious decisions, such as not using pesticides, using alternatives such as herbicides, being friendlier to bees, not hurting them when we encounter them, creating bee-friendly habitats, and supporting them. We as citizens can help protect them those ways, little everyday ways. As the Ohio State Impact shares, bees and many other pollinators contribute around $500 billion to global food production yearly. But bees are the most essential of all the pollinators. Without bees, our global supply is at risk. Please help support the bees. Thank you.